There is a novel that won the Pulitzer Prize in 1937, and after more than 80 years, it remains a timeless classic. Gone with the Wind, written by American author Margaret Mitchell. The author spent 10 years completing this story, set during the American Civil War, which tells the life of the beautiful Scarlett from the age of 16 to 28. She is like a resilient blossom in a snowstorm, learning lessons about love through 3 marriages and the ups and downs of fate during chaotic times of war. Reading Gone with the Wind feels like stepping into a pristine forest. The deeper you go, the more you appreciate its beauty. Each time you read this book, you will likely have different feelings, as it not only teaches you insights about love, but also leaves you with profound thoughts on human nature and life itself, allowing you to grow and ultimately answer the question, how should one live? How to choose love? And if you let yourself be swept away by the wind, where will it take you? Now let's listen to today's discussion through the classic novel, Gone with the Wind. The nature of desire. Humans are strange. The more unattainable something is, the more we crave it. The wealthy, beautiful, and charming Scarlett has countless suitors, yet she only desires a boy named Ashley, her childhood friend, perfect, handsome, talented, and calm. For 2 years, Ashley visits Scarlett's estate almost every week, dancing and spending time together, yet he never professes his love. Scarlett believes his gentle attentiveness means he loves her and will propose one day. However, she is shocked when she hears that Ashley is about to marry her cousin, Melanie. At their engagement party, she dresses beautifully to express her feelings and hopes he will run away with her. But Ashley firmly rejects her. Disappointed, embarrassed, and furious, she cannot accept that she cannot have Ashley and is mocked by other ladies. In her anger, she accepts a proposal from Melanie's brother, but this hasty marriage is not to escape heartbreak, but to become a family with Ashley. She wants him to regret his decision. Then war breaks out, and her newlywed husband must enlist. Tragically, he falls ill and dies on the march, leaving her a widow. Scarlett then seeks an opportunity to move in with her cousin, aiming to be closer to Ashley. Even when she marries for the 2nd and 3rd times, she still thinks of Ashley. Some might think Scarlett's love for Ashley is intense and loyal, willing to fight for love at any moment, a model for many girls to bravely strive for love. However, it is unfortunate that Scarlett never truly loved Ashley from the start. It wasn't genuine love. For Scarlett, a proud and passionate girl who has never tasted failure, regardless of Ashley becoming someone else's husband or her being married to someone else, she decides that Ashley is the man she loves most in her life. This pursuit is not sincere. Rather, it is an obsession with what she cannot attain. Humans are strange creatures. What we cannot have makes us yearn for it more. Just like the saying goes, old love is hard to forget. Is it truly so, or are we caught in some psychological trap? There is a psychological phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect, discovered by psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik. She conducted an experiment with a group of people assigned 20 tasks. The first 10 tasks had no interruptions, so they completed them quickly. However, the next 10 tasks were interrupted. After the experiment, she found that participants were more impressed by the unfinished tasks than the completed ones. This psychological effect shows that people easily forget what they have completed, but remember unfinished tasks vividly. This principle also applies to relationships. What we cannot have becomes even more beautiful. The lack of reciprocation from someone makes us obsessed. The more we care, the more we fear losing it. Moreover, humans can easily lose themselves, feeling lost and conflicted within. The more unattainable something is, the more we crave it. Once we have it, we often do not cherish it. In the novel Red Rose and White Rose, there is a line, "Marry a red rose, and gradually the red turns into a blood stain from a mosquito on the wall. The white remains the moonlight shining before the bed. Marry a white rose, and the white is merely a grain of rice stuck on a red dress, a red dot in the heart." Obtaining the red of the rose makes one yearn for the white. Achieving the white leads the mind back to the red. Just like the blue crystal earrings Scarlett begged her father to buy for her. When those earrings were in her hands, they lost their original value. Scarlett, like many of us, cannot distinguish what true affection is. Do we like ice cream, or do we just like the feeling of wanting it? The anticipation before having the ice cream can be the best part, but once eaten, we might feel sick. Or when we pour all our efforts into winning a prize in a competition, upon achieving it, we may suddenly feel an overwhelming emptiness. To overcome this feeling, we dive into pursuing other goals. People are always caught up in yearning for what they do not possess, believing that what they lack is the most beautiful. Because it is unattainable, it compels us to chase it. But this is not a true motivation to live and love. Do not let this illusion deceive you. Sometimes letting go is not about someone else, but about the stubborn imagination within us. After all, Scarlett awakens to her feelings for Ashley. She admits that he never truly existed, except in her imagination. In psychology, there is another phenomenon called the halo effect, which indicates that people often overvalue others based on one characteristic or quality, blinding themselves to other qualities. This limited perspective arises from a lack of complete understanding of the person. If you have never had the opportunity to bond for a long time, how can you truly understand each other? If you have never faced hardships together, how can you experience the conflicts and discomfort that the other brings? If you love someone without a full view and understanding of them, your feelings are merely a one-sided romantic illusion you have constructed. It will be like flowers on water or the moon in a mirror, yearning to possess something that is ultimately unattainable. So what do you see in the love story of Scarlett and Ashley? You need to see the essence of humanity. We always chase after what we cannot attain, and this is the path that leads you into illusions, suffering. Therefore, before deciding to dedicate your life to someone, you must truly understand them, accepting both their good and bad sides. With all sincerity, you will have the beginning of true love. Marriage as a tool. Never use marriage as a tool. When war breaks out, to retain the estate and save her family, Scarlett uses her beauty to find a way to marry a wealthy man named Frank. However, Frank is her sister's fiancé. Scarlett understands her sister well. After marrying Frank, she knows she will not use his money to help the family. The only way to get that money is to convince Frank that her sister is in love with someone else and is about to marry him. 2 weeks later, Scarlett marries Frank as she desires, but after living together, Scarlett wants to work hard to earn money, while Frank only wants her to be a devoted wife and raise children. Thus, their lives are filled with conflicts. For Scarlett, this seemingly inseparable marriage is only filled with endless arguments and deep loneliness, with no semblance of love. A marriage chosen for material benefit will undoubtedly be filled with dissatisfaction, leading to a lifetime of regret if marriage is used as a tool. Eventually, Frank joins the revolutionary forces and is shot dead, leaving Scarlett a widow once again. Love is not a game, nor is it a business. Weighing benefits and losses in love is a meaningless weariness. Shakespeare once said, "If there is calculation in love, it is not true love." True love must be given sincerely, without concern for who initiates first, just hoping not to miss one another. Never be immersed in a one-sided relationship. After 2 marriages, you have transformed from a pampered girl into a widow, mourning your husband amidst societal chaos. Scarlett must endure poverty, war, and the pain of losing her parents. Now she is transformed from a wealthy lady who never needed to lift a finger into an independent businesswoman. Her entire hometown and Ashley's family depend on her for survival. Throughout this process of gaining and losing, there is always someone waiting to support her. Rhett. Rhett once risked his life to steal a horse for Scarlett amidst the chaos of war and escorted her back to the estate. He witnessed her 2 failed marriages and became her 3rd husband, protecting her without her knowing. Rhett spends a lot of money to win Scarlett's affection, taking her on honeymoon trips, pampering her like a child, buying land, and building a grand house according to her wishes. Rhett deeply loves Scarlett, being patient and indulgent with her time and again. He wants Scarlett to be happier than any other girl. Despite this, Scarlett's heart remains haunted by Ashley. She even foolishly thinks that even if she cannot be with Ashley, she can remain physically faithful to him. After Scarlett gives birth to a daughter, she demands to sleep separately. The pampered one knows no fear, while the indulged one knows no worry. Only enjoying the affection from others is an illusory happiness, fragile and easily broken. When lost in that illusion, one can demand freely, create trouble without reason, squander the affection of others without a thought, and take it for granted, as if no one in this world will wait indefinitely for you in an intimate relationship. If one only takes without giving, it will only hurt the other and may lead to losing oneself, thus failing to recognize the sincerity of others. Ultimately, it is difficult to achieve true happiness. Any relationship that is not built on a foundation of giving and receiving will eventually run dry, even if it is eternal love. Rhett, in disappointment and exhaustion, ultimately chooses to leave. At this moment, Scarlett realizes that she and Rhett are truly meant for each other. They understand each other better than anyone else, and only Rhett loves her entirely, both her good and bad sides. Rhett is the one who gives her strength, but by the time she realizes this, it is too late. Breaking boundaries. Do not limit yourself. You are not inferior to anyone. If this is your first time reading Gone with the Wind, you might be challenged by Scarlett's rebellious spirit. In the education we receive from childhood, we are taught to become individuals who adhere to social moral standards, emphasizing selflessness, dedication, and concern for others. Therefore, you may be shocked by a cold, greedy, selfish Scarlett who spares no effort to fulfill her desires. Marrying her first husband for revenge, marrying the second for material gain, and marrying the third for comfort. None of these marriages are sincere, so they are destined to fail. But why can Scarlett inspire millions across generations and influence the feminist movement in real life? Because she is so real. Her reality creates a highly controversial image. She was once a noble lady with a wonderful life, but in an instant the sounds of war erupted. Her mother died, her father went mad, and everything around her fell into despair. She had to shoulder the entire family, learning to manage the estate and conduct business, immediately transforming from a delicate young girl into a strong woman who took on all family responsibilities. In that process, she fully understood the hardships of life. To protect herself and her family, she could use a gun to drive away invaders and support herself and others. She could use marriage as a bargaining chip. People see her as selfish, greedy, arrogant, and cold, but it is precisely this selfishness that creates an independent and self-sufficient person who dares to think, act, and face hatred in work and life. Scarlett lives in a time when men are superior to women, and most women are relegated to homemaking. Many women initially think they are inferior to men and quickly abandon their dreams, but Scarlett never thinks she is inferior to them. Thus, she never limits herself and never confines herself to the perceptions of others. In the end, she can achieve success on her own. Women face many prejudices in life. Some believe women are inherently inferior to men and that no effort can change that, but believe that this is merely oppression stemming from a one-sided culture. In reality, whether women or men, everyone is equal. Only when women do not limit themselves can they make life more vibrant. Do not let anyone's narrow views stop you. Use their words as motivation and move forward. Only in this way can you live without regrets. It is not easy to give up. Tomorrow will still be a new day. Scarlett's character, both selfish and independent, is worthy of our reflection. Humans are deeply contradictory. No one is entirely excellent, and no one is entirely a failure. In life's journey, we are imperfect and have many flaws in our character. Often we feel lost and suffer, but as long as we maintain a spirit aimed at a positive tomorrow, we can learn, improve, and rise from our experiences. The title of this novel is inspired by a poem from a British poet. I have forgotten many things. Let the roses fly with the wind. The roses fall, the roses have thorns. Let them fly away. Do not remember the small white petals that are lost. What drifts away with the wind belongs to the past. The pale white petals may represent our flaws. Let them grow and be carried away by the wind. Just like Scarlett's last words with an open ending when Rhett leaves in disappointment, she says, "Tomorrow will still be a new day." With this statement, the spirited Scarlett may awaken and once again fight for love, but this time with sincerity, for she has matured alongside the wind. She has weathered the ups and downs of life. Even if she does not choose to take another step forward, it does not matter. What matters is that compared to the naive, selfish, hurt, and disheartened girl at the beginning of the story, Scarlett has truly changed enough to take control of her destiny. With courage in hand, love in her heart, and light in her eyes, she fears no storms in the future. Every step in your life is not in vain. All carry their own meaning. A truly wise person will turn every experience into lessons that help us move forward, so that each encounter becomes the best arrangement in your life. A person with a correct understanding and extraordinary determination will be able to let themselves soar with the wind. But ultimately, where will they soar to? To a place unburdened by the past, without worries about the future, but living well in the present. And no matter what, tomorrow will be a new day. Scarlett's character has inspired those who have failed and serves as a mirror for the successful to observe and reflect. Her story of broken love teaches us that the more unattainable something is, the more we want to pursue it. But when we achieve it, we realize that we did not truly want it. If we do not cherish what we have, we will surely pay the price with regret. To live without regrets, please let go of your selfish ego and exchange sincerity for sincerity to overcome difficulties or learn the spirit of independence and resilience, shining with a vibrant life like Scarlett in Gone with the Wind.